Kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Efosa Robosa Japheth, popularly known as Young Elder GCFRO. I'm a comedian and a video creator.
Tell us about your experience with the kidnappers along the Benin Auchi Express Road.
Okay, on the 21st of May, May 2021, I was being to perform in a show in Ekpoma, in Club Mates. That's the name, so I can't really remember the name of the club right about now. I was being to perform there alongside some of other of my colleagues. So that fateful day, I actually was recording, and a friend of mine who is also an actress in the entertainment industry, like skit makers, she called me that for an assistant that she was going to Ekpoma, that is AAU Abrusali University, because she's a new student there, freshers. So she called for an assistant, and luckily we were both going the same direction. I was going to that direction that particular day, of which I rendered an assistant. So around 4, myself and my driver, is a cabman, Mr. Tommy, we embarked on the journey, picked up Miracle Agbe along the road as we were heading toward the location of the event. So we left Benin around after 4 thereabout. We left Benin as at that time. So we embarked on the journey just immediately after the military checkpoint. When you pass this Ayelala building along that Benin Auchi Expressway, just between there and that Jehovah Witness and Kingdom Hall of Jehovah Witness, that's their building, their secretariat there. Just immediately we passed that Ayelala, we passed a military checkpoint, not up to 5 minutes of passing that checkpoint. A man jumped out from from the bush, and right in front of us started shooting up and down. Right. Immediately my driver just put the car on brake and reversed back. So when my driver was reversing, because of the orientation I've gotten about kidnappers and how they operate, I quickly beckoned on him that since these guys are not shooting at all, it means that they want to lure us to the trap at the back, of which when immediately my driver turned the steering to face back heading towards Benin, we saw more than 5 of them, heavily armed bandits. They were shooting, also stopping other cars. So it was as if we were in a circle, like they were trying to put us all in a circle. So immediately my driver stopped the car and just asked us to start running. So Miracle Agbe was at the back seat, I was at the front seat, and there goes my driver. So when he opened the car, I opened my car. The last I saw of Miracle Agbe was that she opened her own door. So we ran, they were coming from the right-hand side of the bush, we ran to the left-hand side of the bush. So they started shooting, following us. They were shouting, "If you run, I will shoot you. If you run, I will shoot you." So we just kept running. I tried to climb the hill at first. I fell down, hitting my chest on the ground. Continued running as fast as my leg can carry me. We were running for about 15 to 20 minutes deep inside the bush. We later stopped hearing about the gunshots, so we decided to hide inside the bush. When we hide inside the bush, we come across a fellow, a young guy also. Blood was gushing out from his nose. I didn't get his name after this incident. Blood was just gushing out from his nose, coming out. We were still trying to run at that time. My driver was like, "This guy is going to collapse if you continue running inside the bush." So we decided to pick a place. We pull off our clothes. We pick a place to hide. So 30 minutes time after hiding, we decided to try to come outside because it was around to 6 when I think to 6. This whole incident happened around after 4 along the Benin Auchi Expressway, but we were inside the bush till about around to 6. So we tried our best to start coming outside. We heard the footstep, which we believe was kidnapper, because there's no living human being that will be walking in that bush apart from them. They were just speaking. The kind of dialect they were speaking was more like the dialect of, when, the way these herdsmen normally talk. Those guys that we call mala, that escort cow, making all those kind of sound. That's how they were just speaking, and so we immediately decided to fall back flat, putting our clothes for us not to be noticed, because some of us were putting on. 3 of us we were inside that bush. I think that particular guy that his nose was bleeding was putting on white. Then myself, purple native. Then Mr. Tommy, the cabman, was putting on stripes clothes with bright colors in general. So we again decided to lie down flat. So we later started hearing siren of the police. So we decided to start tracing the siren of the police, and gradually we came out from the bush. When we came outside, I discovered that it was not just a vehicle and a bus that I saw. It was about 2 buses, one Sienna and a Corolla, and another mini van that was involved, of which all the occupants of the vehicle was captured alongside my friend Miracle Aigbe. But they left the drivers of the buses. They didn't touch the drivers. They just only, collected the passengers. So we started calling for help, because that area there was no network. The police took us to a police station where we wrote statements, and I pleaded with the police to help me go back to the bush, that they might not have gone far to try to search for my friends. We tried. Unfortunately, the police, they were not having enough ammunitions, because they said that was the second time the bandit was coming outside that same day, that they've exchanged gunfire before, and they didn't succeed. They thought maybe they went back. So coming outside, we met the police, the vigilante, the military officers outside there. So for fear of this whole scenario, I couldn't continue my journey. I asked to be taken back to Benin, and via their escort, of which they escorted me back to Benin. So when I got to Benin, the family of Miracle Aigbe called me that their daughter was abducted, and that they've called that they're going to make their demand the next day, being Saturday. My Samsung phone, Android phone, got blind. So the next day I quickly rushed to go and fix it. I fixed the Android phone. I even called some of my colleagues in the industry. When I fixed the Android phone, then I discovered that even that particular night, they've already tried to reach me via Miracle Aigbe's number, the kidnappers. So I kept on trying the number. And suddenly the number called me. The number was not reachable, but the number called me, and this Miracle voice was the voice I heard, and she was crying and crying. So I told her to give the phone to the kidnappers. We spoke. They demanded for 35 million naira as ransom. I seriously, obviously don't have 35 million naira. So I immediately went to the family to tell the family this is what is going on. The family said, how are we going to get the money? We started calling friends. A friend of Miracle also was contacted, and one Ernest was contacted. So he was the one talking to the kidnapper at first, before the kidnapper decided to start talking to me. Long story short, On Sunday, they called again and made a demand of 5 million naira. Since we cannot raise 35 million naira, that it has to be 5 million naira. They called more than 3 times that particular Sunday. I was at home trying to gather what I can gather. A colleague of mine, MC Edo Pikin, was very, very helpful. From that Friday, he has been calling. Porcupine was also calling, trying to see what we can do. So we tried to raise money for the release of Miracle Aigbe. So that Sunday night, they called and asked me if I'll be able to raise the 5 million naira. I told them I'll only be able to raise 520. That I can be able to raise 1 million naira before the next day. And they said they gave me from that Sunday till Monday afternoon by 12 noon, that if I'm unable to raise that money, I should just take that money that is with me to go and use to prepare for the burial of my friend. That they don't want to hear anything 1 million naira from me anymore, that they will be calling the next day on Monday. So that very Sunday night, started calling my fathers in the Lord. We were praying. We did an all night in my house alongside with my crew members, my fiancé also. We were just praying all through the night. My pastor, Pastor Is Ojekiri, who happens not to be in the country at the time of this incident, was also praying. One of the prayer we were praying that God should, any negative atmosphere around Miracle Aigbe, any negative voice that is speaking against our life, that is trying to take our life, should be destroyed, and God should make our demand met. So at the end of the day, on Monday morning, heading towards the station to go and make report, they called. When they called, they said, okay, where's the 5 million naira? Hope I'll be able to raise it. So I told them that I'm even heading to my way to raise the money that will make it 1 million naira, that I don't have 5 million naira. They said, okay, make it 1.5. I reiterated that it is 1 million naira that I have. I was pleading, I was begging with them. After everything, the person that was speaking to the other side said, okay, go and arrange it. And he ended the phone. So we were able to raise the money. Long story short, we paid the ransom, and the way we paid the ransom was they called me and gave me a phone number and an account number that I will pay into. Then I should call the phone number. And when I called the phone number, it happens to be one of the victims' brother that was even instructed to collect money from other victims that is in their den. So at the end of the day, we paid into the account around 6-7 o'clock in the evening. Still trying to raise money, even when they asked us to, send the money, we're still trying to raise the money. But long story short, we paid around 6-7 thereabouts. That same day, at about 10 o'clock, I got a call from Miracle that she has been released. And I thank God. I asked her where she was and all that. We were able to redirect her. I was at the Stacy ID where they brought her to me. And that's how we reunited that particular day. Now, the reason why I'm narrating all these things is so that some of us, in fact, Nigerians, should be aware of what is happening in Edo State. Edo State has become the den of kidnappers, especially that Benin-Auchi Expressway. When I was in that police station making my report, different report was coming in. That same week we were ambushed. That same week, on Wednesday of it, we kidnapped some persons. On Friday was the incident that involved me. Then on Saturday was the same. They still kidnapping that road. On Monday, where they released Miracle Aigbe, they actually also kidnapped in that same road. Nigerians, we have to call on the government to do the needful. My advice to people traveling, especially students, since that road leads to ever busy Ambrosali University and Auchi Poly and other schools in that road. My advice to the students and people that are applying that road is do not travel during the weekend, because weekends are mostly the time they usually perpetrate their havoc. But if you must travel, travel when it is daytime, around maybe 10 to 3. Once it's past that time, do not travel, because at the end of the day, immediately the police, I don't know if they close their checkpoints, immediately they leave their checkpoint, that is when they normally carry out their havoc. Big thank you to everybody that played their parts in ensuring the release of my friend Miracle Aigbe, from my colleague MC Edo Pikin, Porcupine, MC Casino, my friend, comrade, my pastor, Pastor Ois Ojekere, my spiritual father. I want to say thank you very much for those that called, all the fans on Instagram, Facebook, people that were calling, people that were praying, even received a text message from Apostle Johnson Suleiman that also joined us in prayer. And in fact, I want to say a big thank you to you people and for the prayers. I might not be able to mention everybody's name, but know that I am grateful. Myself, the family of Miracle Aigbe, we are grateful. And of course, Miracle will definitely just say what she saw in the den.
Wow, that's really something. We noticed that there's a bandage around your leg. Can you tell us about the injuries you sustained?
Well, I'm smiling right now because I'm thanking God it's just a little injury I sustained. This injury was sustained as a result of when I was running inside the bush, falling and rising inside the bush. We were crawling for a very long time, myself and my driver and the other guy. We crawled inside the bush for a long time for us not to be noticed inside the bush. So that's how I sustained this injury and some other injury in my back, because of the elephant grass and the rest, but not compared to the horror we saw. And since on Friday till now, I've not been able to close my eye to sleep as a result of the horror. I'm feeling not secure. I've not been able to even continue my normal business. But hopefully, with time, we'll come back strong.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Oh my God. How you doing?
I'm fine.
It's okay. Kindly introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Miracle Aigbe, and I'm an actress and also a student of Abuja University.
Okay. So we just finished speaking with young Elder, and he narrated his experience to us. So we'd just like to also hear from you. Tell us about your experience, about the kidnapping along Benin Auchi Express Road.
Okay, so during the time, like when we were traveling, during the robbery or the kidnapping, so I tried running, and the next thing I saw was someone hitting me with a gun on my head, and I passed out. Then I woke up and saw myself in the bush. I was crying, and I asked him, like, what am I doing here? He told me I've been kidnapped, and I needed to pay 35 million naira for my release. So I started crying. I told him, I don't have that kind of money. My family, they are not wealthy. They're not even rich. So how am I supposed to have that kind of money? I don't think he even heard that. So he started slapping me, stuff like that. Then we were still in the bush waiting for like 8 or 9 so we can cross on the other side of the bush where there are people. So I think when it was 8:30, we crossed to the other side to meet about 14 other people who they kidnapped from other places. I told them I needed water, and they told me that they would take me to one river or thereabout to get us water. At first, I was like, I can't drink dirty water. I said it's not dirty. That they would take me to one riverbank and drink clean water. So we went there. They gave me this tramadol to take. I told them I can't take it. That I'm okay. They actually tried forcing me to take it. I told them I can't take tramadol. They gave me weed. I told them I can't take weed. So they said okay. They tied our hands and started working. I think that was past 10. We were working. I was still with my watch then. I was checking the time. We worked for at least 2 a.m. the next morning. We were all crying, like we were begging, sir, please can we crawl? Like our legs, we couldn't walk anymore. We were crying, sir, please let's just crawl. He said no, so we started walking. I think that same too. Someone tried to run. We were 15 in number, so one man tried to run and he shot him instantly. Like this. So they shot him and we were 14. We started walking and eventually we got to one empty bush. We slept there. I think it was Saturday morning. Police came to invade the bush where we were, so we started shooting, exchanging guns, and they saved 2 guys there, and remaining 12 for like, I think 12 or 13 thereabouts. So the punishment was even severe because policemen came to provoke them. According to them, they said, I wish a bullet hit one of them, all of us are dead. So we were crying, begging throughout that day. So I think that moment, they had another plan to leave that bush to the next place. So we had to cross. So we waited for at least 12 midnight when the vehicle went there. So we crossed, and as soon as we were crossing, police were just coming and they had to beat us mercilessly to like, hey, calm down, so stuff like that. Then we went to the other bush. I think it was Sunday. We started calling our family, telling them to pay. So from 36 million, we said 10 million. From 10 million, we said 5 million. Meanwhile, I've been calling my friend Youngeda. I've been calling one of my friend Ines. I've been calling my sister. I've been begging them to please help me because if anyone even told me I would see the next day, I won't believe. I won't believe. So they called. That was a Sunday. They called Youngeda. They told me Youngeda said he was having I think 500K or 500 or something naira, and they were pissed. They said they're looking for 5 million and it's calling change. So I think that evening So that evening they went to one pineapple bush. We tried to take some pineapples because we were very hungry. They didn't allow us to take some pineapples. So it was one of them that even went to the pineapple farm to cut like I think 2 or 3 to give us to eat them. And they were calling our people. So they called mine. They told him 1.5 million naira, and at that moment he had only 1 million naira. So the way they did this was that they had one of us. His brother was actually at Uromi looking for money. He had 4 million naira with him. So we actually transferred our money to his own account. Then he's supposed to bring the money to the kidnappers. So we did it that way. We had the bush till 9. They went to the road to take the money, and they came back and they said we should get up. Still beating that day before they freed us. Then they showed us one path that leads to road. The road where we came out from the road, they are selling sherry that road. I don't really know the road, but it's along that Benin Awuchi Express road. So we came out from there. When we came out, some people were running. I was like, stop, oh, they kidnapped us. So we are looking for this vehicle that will take us to Benin. So the man in question that actually bought the money for them, his brother. So he came with his vehicle, he took some of us to Benin while we were there. Then he came with other vehicle to take the rest of us. So as soon as we got released, we actually sent me 1 million naira to them. So as soon as we got released, I went straight to State CID to put down my so that's it.
It must have been a tough experience for you. So can you just tell us exactly how you're feeling right now, like since after the experience, the aftermath?
Okay, I'll be crying. I can't even express how I feel though. I think maybe being here, I might be acting strong or whatsoever, but it's not easy. Like yesterday, I even had to go to the hospital to take sleeping drugs to sleep. So because me being alone, I can't even stay being alone. I can't. So the experience is tragic. It's tragic. And I don't even think I even want anybody to experience that kind of thing. I just want to thank some persons or everybody who helped me out, wants to pray for me. Official Rocky Payne, he was one who handled my hospital bill. I want to give thanks to MC Casino, MC Edo Pikin, Porcupine, Vivian House, Eduardo, Ines, everybody. I just want to give thanks to you all for not allowing me die in that dead place. And I also just want to thank young leader. God will bless you for me. I swear, that guy really did a great job. Like, thank you so much. God bless you for me.